The 300 million naira grant paid by the Rivers State government as part of financial support for the annual General Conference of the Nigerian Bar Association (NBA) is ruffling feathers. But following the decision of NBA to move the conference from Port Harcourt to Enugu amid political tension in the state, prominent human rights lawyer Ebun-Olu Adegboruwa, SAN, has called for the immediate refund of the money. Adegboruwa argued that the NBA has no moral or legal ground to retain the money as far as the independence of the judiciary is concerned. He also urged the NBA to be discerning in matters of fundraising. Now, a very respected human rights lawyer, Ebun Adegboruwa, is calling on the NBA to refund, the 300 million. Now, first of all, Mikhail, what do you make of the back and forth, between the River State government and the NBA?
I agree absolutely with Adegboruwa and others who have spoken. All decent lawyers that I know have advised the NBA to return this money. The ones that I know, that I also respect, GT Ogunye, all of them. You can't do this now. You can protest against the enthronement of a state of emergency. It's within their rights to protest. But everyone knows that when states give this kind of hefty money, it is also in anticipation of the benefit that the state will also get. When you host such a big event, do you know how many hotels would welcome the delegates? I moderated NBA conference 2 years ago on the security, the session on security. I moderated it. They packed velodrome in Abuja. The hall is probably one of the largest people that I had to face since I've been doing this job. The hall was filled to capacity. Now, there were so many people outside, all kinds of businesses that people are doing. The ripple effect of hosting this in a state is huge. So states do not just give such hefty money for nothing. They know what they will get in return. To give the impression that, oh, it was just a gift. I mean, let the leadership of the NBA even show integrity, moral strength, as tiny as a mustard seed, and admit that in this case they goofed. You cannot. At the time when Rivers paid for this, did they also consult? Did they also walk up to other states to say, okay, give us, we need money, support us? So somebody pays you 300 million, expecting that they will get some benefits in return. You now take that money to go and benefit another state, and you will talk as if you assume that you are making sense. Do you get the point that I'm making?
Yeah, I do.
I gave you this money because I expect that the state will get a lift in terms of the economy. Businesses will boom during that period. Nigeria hosted what was it called? Festac.
Okay, 77.
Look at the change that happened to the Nigerian landscape, even at that time. So those estates are still there. Do you know how many buses that we bought to host that thing? Schools, they donated those buses to schools. Even my school got one of those luxury buses. So when you host something like this, you expect to get something in return. Even the dumbest of governors will not simply give as much as 300 million when he thinks that, okay, it may eventually go to another state. I mean, they should tell us a different story. As I said earlier, they are free to say, okay, President Tinubu came up with emergency rule. Because he came up with emergency rule and brought IBAS, we are not taking the we are not
the hosting.
Yes, we are relocating
exactly.
the hosting. It will be within their rights. They are not the only people who oppose emergency rule. I also do not agree. And I'm not afraid to say it. And I stand by it, even though some people somewhere deceive themselves that I didn't stand by what I said. But before Nigerians, they knew that I stood by what I said. I stood by what I said on record. And I'm saying it again, that I stand by it. So that it becomes clear to those deluded people that I stand by my views on the emergency rule. But you must return this money. Except if they have spent it. I won't be surprised if they spent it.
They must go and look for it and return it.
Return their money. Return their money. Let Enugu State that you want to host now, collect it from Enugu now. Give it back to these people.
Okay. Now, Mayor, this money belongs to River State government. To protect the image of the NBA, should they return the money?
No, it's not that it's to protect the image. Personally, I'm embarrassed for the leadership of NBA. Because you see, yes, I'm embarrassed for them. Because what they are doing is they are bringing such an important organization to
disrepute.
Because he who comes to equity must come with clean hands. You collected 300 million that could do so many things for the people of River State. 300 million can do so many things: schools, water, so many things for the people of River State. But the governor of that state believe that in you bringing your conference to his state will have a lot of multiplier effects in that state.
Yes,
he give you that money. For whatever reason, you don't agree with emergency rule or whatever, you said you are moving your conference to another state. A decent leadership will not be asked before they return that money.
Now,
but to ridicule themselves, they now say, oh, we are not going to return that money because it's a gift. You know why it's so shameful? I will share an experience with you.
Okay.
The treasurer, the accountant of Lagos Sheraton Hotel stole so much money. When the auditors saw that this guy stole so much money, police went to that guy. The guy was living in a room and parlor.
Okay.
Somewhere. So where did you put all this money that you stole? The guy was donating this money to church.
Yes.
Buying
generators for church.
Buying generators, giving them money. They wrote to
money
this
that
church.
Is not his money.
They wrote to this church to say that the man that was giving you people money and buying generators for you guys
stolen money
that was stolen money. The church said, no, we cannot return it because it was a gift. We didn't ask the guy to give us.
Mayor.
How can NBA?
It was US.
How can NBA? How can NBA said, oh, we will not return the 300 million because it's a gift?
Mayor,
it's so ridiculous.
There are questions people have been asked.
Yes.
Was there a legally binding document that, okay, this 300 million was for the whole thing, right?
So, come on.
No, that's what.
No, let me tell you why
they said it was a gift.
No, let me tell you why that
people just go around giving.
No, let me tell you why that. No, let me answer that.
Out of Lagos, did they take that kind of money?
Let me answer that.
Yes.
Let me answer that. Let me answer that. You said you wanted to do a conference in a state.
Yes, you approached him.
Okay.
You understand? And then you fixed that you want to do it in a state. And because of that, you claim now that the person gave you a gift. Right? Agreed. The person gave you a gift based on the fact that you wanted to go and do your conference in a state.
Yes.
When you now took a decision to take that conference, that was the reason why the guy gave you a gift, according to you, 300 million naira gift. When you now decided that you want to take your conference to another place, if you have decency, a president of Nigerian Bar Association, an organization that's supposed to be the conscience of the nation, that's supposed to be able to tell the nation to apply the root of constitutionality, will now say that, look, we are not going to return that money because it's a gift. And you are saying, and this money is not a personal money of the governor.
It's the state's money.
It's the state's money. And then tomorrow, you will criticize the governor of the state that they are not doing the right things. When you too can collect 300 million of the state money, our patrimony, and then you will now appropriate that. And the excuse will be that it is a gift.
It is a gift.
It is a conditional
gift. It's a conditional gift.
It is a conditional gift.
Yes, it's conditional because that gift came hefty because of the fact that you want to host. And what people are saying is, what is even this? If it was not, if you did not come to him, if you did not approach him to say, host us,
okay,
he will not give you that much.
Of course.
And that's why we are saying we are challenging them. How many state governors did you go to? How many state governors?
That's for NBA to let us know
if
they
are
actually
listening.
do.
Now they are listening to me. How many state governors did you go to? At the time you went to him, did you approach Benue, for example? Did you approach Edo?
Or Lagos?
Or Lagos?
Or Lagos.
So we would like to know whether those ones too gave you money. You went solely to him because you made up your mind that you wanted to host there. And because that is a state that has got tremendous resources, the governor gave that money. That money is not his money. It's not Fubara's money. It is the money of Rivers people. So you cannot deny Rivers people the opportunity for businesses to benefit from hosting the agency with money that was given to you, money that belonged to them.
Now,
so you now want, after you now go to Enugu to go and help boost the economy of that state.
something that was supposed to benefit Rivers, you're taking it to Enugu.
You've cheated Rivers. So morally, we are not, they may not write anything, agreement because lawyers exploit all those little things. We are saying that a person or the leadership of the NBA should behave like moral giants.
Now, do Rivers State
listen
government
to me. Let me, no, before you talk.
Okay.
The leaders of the NBA must behave like moral giants. They must not behave like moral Lilliputians. And for that reason, return this money, get the governor of Enugu State to return what the suspended governor of Rivers State gave to you, because he gave to you for a reason. The hosting. You are talking about there's no hosting rights. Absolute rubbish. Don't say there's no hosting right. He gave that money for the purpose of hosting the thing. If you didn't tell him that you wanted the state to host it, will he give that much money?
Of course.
Okay,
did he give you like that kind of money last year?
The Rivers State government says it will take legal action.
They should go ahead.
They should do
Since
that.
the NBA wants to embarrass itself,
yes.
it will go down. It will go down in history that this leadership of the NBA dragged the name of the lawyer's body in the mud.
No, BKO, the thing is, if they take NBA to court, under what contractual agreement?
No, not contractual.
Will the Rivers State government base its argument if they take this matter to court?
There are some unwritten agreements or understanding.
Yes.
There are some understanding because, for example, this thing has happened before.
Talk to me.
When there was a time that Rivers State, when Wike was governor, was supposed to host the convention of the People's Democratic Party.
Okay.
And then they now decided, along the line, they suggested that they wanted to take it from Rivers to another place. And Wike told them that they cannot do that.
Yes, I remember.
Because they have committed money to hosting that thing and that they cannot take it elsewhere.
Yes.
He insisted that they cannot take it elsewhere. And they had to do it in Rivers. So if you say you want to do your conference in my state, and you approached me, this man didn't give them this money 2 years ago or last year. You understand? So you said you wanted to hold a conference in my place, and because of that, I gave you support.
Okay.
It's a support. They say it's a gift. It's a support to say we want you to be able to be in a position to organize this your conference so that we can have that economic multiplier effect in my state.
True.
If for whatever reason you decide that you don't want to come to my state again, I don't even need to ask you if you have
honor. If
you have honor, you are the one that will say, we are sorry, we don't agree with this emergency rule in this your state, so we are going another place. Take your money back. But because the problem is that all these hypocrites, they spend their money.
They may have spent it.
The money itself, a lot of people are not aware.
What even saying is, why are we even going to politicians? We have enough lawyers who pay their check-off dues and know that we should be able to finance our annual general conference on our own. Why are you going
able to do that?
Exactly.
Why are you going to do that? Why are you going to politicians up and down?
And then
now, how will you be able to criticize them?
All right, gentlemen, let's move straight.
No wonder NBA didn't see anything wrong in 3 individuals running a house.
Yes.
House of Assembly.
Yes. passing the budget and bills.
Okay, that's unparalleled anywhere in the world. I've been saying it here that I dare anybody to tell me where that has ever happened. Nobody will be able to tell me that 3 individuals will sit as House of Assembly in a state, anywhere in the world.
Well, I'm glad the Supreme Court has actually, talked about that extensively.